and get really excited because we have a guest speaker tonight, and she's amazing, and she's going to share all her tips on basically like her story of getting started as a coach, but then like really her passion for this business and dreaming really big with it, and then, you know, the actions and habits that have brought her to where she is now to make it a reality. So a few things about Taylor, if you don't know her. I don't know how to say your last name. Is it Turskis?
Tereskis.
Tereskis. Okay, I knew I was gonna like.
It'll change one day. So.
Okay, but so she is one of Amy Bailey's PS coaches. If you don't know who Amy is, she's like the queen, I feel like, of Beachbody. Her and Jamie both. But Amy is one of Jamie's PS coaches, so she's like on the same team as Carly. So Taylor and I basically are like at the same level, right? So she's one of Amy's PS coaches. She's a Success Club 5 All-Star. She's been coaching for a little over a year, and she's already 1-star diamond coach and like about to start 4-star quals, which is freaking amazing and kind of like where we were last year. So it's just such an exciting time. And also, like, I feel like I just have to say your husband too is amazing because I feel like I always see you guys together on your stories, and just you're the sweetest couple in the world. So I'm gonna pass it over to you and you can share.
Yay! Hi, you guys. I'm so excited to be hanging out with you tonight. He's not officially my husband, but we've been dating for 5 years. So soon my last name will become Harvey, which is much easier than Tereskis. Yeah, well, thanks so much for the awesome shout out, Leanna. You guys, it's so funny because Leanna was one of the first coaches that I started like stalking and looking up to before I became a coach, and like as soon as I was a coach and just a baby, like in this business, because I really looked up to Carly Lindor. And actually I watched a coaching sneak peek that Amy invited me to, and that's how I found Carly Lindor. But I ended up joining Amy because that's who invited me to the sneak peek, or I joined the sneak peek with. And then I found Leanna, and then I started finding their whole tribe. And Brandon, my boyfriend, and I always tease that like if I like were to go back and I knew I love Amy, like literally would not change it for the world, but Team Root to Rise, like that team and like Leanna's team, you guys are like my whole vibe. So it's really cool with coaching that like I'm nothing like Amy, but like I love her, and her team brings such like a fun spirit to like what I do, and it's fun to like get to be kind of different than them. So I think that's something that's really cool about coaching, is like you can make it your own, and you have just so much like freedom. And yeah, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my story, just because I feel like it is kind of impactful and important when it comes to what I'm going to share with you today. So I really want to talk to you guys specifically about mindset, habits, the actions, and just dreaming big, because I think that's probably my biggest superpower, is my ability to dream big and my like unshakable belief in myself. And I'm going to talk to you guys about how I've developed that and how I found so much success in the business. So I found coaching, and I found Amy and then signed up with her as a coach, like literally less than a week after following her. So I'm kind of that unicorn that like, oh, I'm looking for business builders, right? That's like 1 in a million. We rarely find those. But I joined her and I really hit the ground running. My goals, like literally in the first month of coaching, were that I wanted to go full-time, that I wanted to quit my full-time job. I wanted to retire my partner. I wanted to build a 6-figure business. I was like all freaked in, you guys. So I, at the time when I found coaching, was a event coordinator for a nonprofit. It was my first job out of college. I had been in that field for about a year. I went to school, did all the things the society tells you to do. I have a degree in communication. And honestly, I had no idea like what I wanted to do with my life. And it wasn't until like I found coaching that I realized like, oh, this is it, right? I feel like I kind of tease when I say this, but it's actually so true. So, you know, found coaching on February 27th of 2019, was born on March 28th, 1994. I'm 26, but the day I signed up as a coach, I feel like was my rebirth, like into my purpose, which is so powerful, because I think so many people just kind of do what society tells you to do. Like, you go through the motions, like you do all the things, check the boxes, maybe on paper it looks really good, but like in reality, I felt so unfulfilled. Like, I was so unhappy. I was super struggling on my own health and fitness journey, and was also really passionate about health and fitness. The funny thing is, like, I was like would obsessively work out. So that was never an issue. I mean, the issue was the mindset that I had with exercise, with health. And I just truly, like, I despised my body. I had a terrible binge and emotional eating disorder. And I was silently struggling so much. But never felt like comfortable to share those struggles with other people. And coaching truly gave me a voice. And this sounds silly, but it saved me, because I was at a place like an all-time low on my health journey, in my career, in my relationships, everything in my life. I mean, I saying like all-time low is really dramatic, but like compared to where I am now, it was absolutely the lowest that I had ever been. Working 8 to 5, like in an office, was just not for me. I felt like I was like in a prison cell, being on someone else's time, still living paycheck to paycheck, even though I had made it and got like a big girl job. And when I asked, so I was a fundraiser and I did events, which is super stressful. I also worked lots of evening and weekends. And I will never forget the like time I went into my boss's office to ask for a raise. And I had like this whole presentation, and I had fundraised like $20,000 additionally than what they had ever done in the past with like the events. And they laughed at me when I asked for a raise. They literally laughed at me. And that was like the defining moment of like, okay, I have got to find something else. I have to find something that like truly fuels me and gives me the passion. Like, I don't want to work on bullshit like projects for other people to like progress their mission forward. Like, I'm happy for them and they're doing great work, but like, it wasn't meaningful to me. And I was so sick of like that, just being stuck in that like cycle of working on something and doing something that just didn't fulfill me. I wanted to truly be excited for my everyday, and not like wait around every day for 5 o'clock and then like wish my weeks away until the weekend. Like, it just was such a terrible mindset. And when I found coaching, I saw it as the vehicle, as the outlet for me to be able to create a life of more, for me to be able to find freedom. And I am super hardworking and super determined. So like, pretty much any goal I ever set for myself, there's not a doubt in my mind that I can achieve it. So I just decided to dream big. I went all in with coaching, and 6 months into coaching, I matched my salary at my 8 to 5. And 1 month later, I left that job, and I have been working at home full time for 8 months now. So I feel like that is a really powerful thing, because everyone has different goals and dreams, but just the ability to dream big and to really take action and allow yourself to like cut the ties and have no plan B. I think it forces you. It's super fucking uncomfortable. Like, it really was hard. It was truly I thought it was hard being like stuck and miserable in my full-time job. You guys, the hardest thing was the transition of leaving that and then like having to navigate the waters of like, oh my God, I have to provide a paycheck. Like, I'm now running a team. Like, I now have all this freedom. It was really challenging for me. So I just like, if that's a dream of yours, want to like preface it with, it is hard and it's scary, but it's so worth it. And I would not be where I am in this business today if I would have held on and stayed small at the 8 to 5 job that I hated, that didn't bring me joy, that sucked the life out of me. You guys, I remember like the last few months when I was building my coaching business and it was really taking off and I was still working a full-time job. I was working like 80 to 100 hours a week. It was insane. And I remember like every single day leaving my office and going to my car, and like the first time I'd step outside all day because I wasn't allowed to like go out and walk or like on my lunch break. It was just like so much like prison, even though it wasn't, but like I'm being dramatic, but based on what now the freedom I have, it truly was. And I would get in my car and like literally sob the entire drive home just because I knew that I had totally outgrown where I was. And it was so hard to make that decision to like leave and like let that piece of me like fall, because I did take a lot of pride in my work and I had really built up like a reputation in our community and within my organization. So it was hard, but so worth it. I also want to mention I taught bar for about 2 years, which is something I ended up doing like shortly after I started that full-time job. So I did have like my foot in the health and fitness industry. And it's so funny looking back because I thought that I wanted to like be a full-time group fitness instructor before I found coaching, but I so quickly became so burnt out with teaching. Who's a group fitness instructor or like has taught yoga or anything like that? Anybody? None of you? Okay. I thought maybe you would since Leanna's like a yogi. So Alex is okay. So if you guys know anyone in the industry, it really is like such an underappreciated, underpaid industry. And so many people like do teach group fitness or yoga for a living, and it's just not sustainable, and it really takes the joy out of movement. And that was kind of the place that I had gotten with bar. I enjoyed it, but it was like on top of the job, the 2 jobs, showing up. I didn't get paid very much. My students weren't very like, I mean, I had some rock star students, but it's really hard to like put yourself out there at the end of a long day, and like you're just not really getting the feedback or getting to make the impact that you want to make. And I think that was the biggest disconnect for me, was like it was awesome to teach a class, but I could see that my clients were still like clearly struggling on their health and fitness journey and had totally the wrong mindset, and they were like overdoing group fitness classes, like had just the unhealthy mindset, and they really needed like that community and that accountability outside of the classroom. And so when I found coaching, it was like such a connection of like, wow, this is the missing piece. Now I get to really take people through every single step of the journey and provide them with something that's lifelong, that's sustainable, and to really build a relationship and a community alongside like working with other women to empower them, inspire them, and really create lasting changes. So that kind of leads me to what I want to talk to you guys about. So you guys obviously are here because you're passionate about coaching. I would love to know in the chat box what your like big time goals with coaching are. Like if no dream was too big, let me see it in the chat. Like what is your goal with coaching that you would love to achieve? I'm going to open the chat so I can see what you guys are saying. Ooh, Brienne says full-time. Paige says full-time. Life on the road. I love it. Be in the top 10%. Wow, Jillian, that's amazing. Travel. Woo-hoo. Yes, travel with the band. That's amazing. Stop teaching yoga. Okay, so Alex, yeah, stop teaching yoga. Financial freedom, retire my hubs, travel for sure, full-time occupational therapist. This is amazing. Literally, you guys, like every single one of those things is so possible. I just want you to know how possible it is. And I want to remind you, and I wanted this to lead in to talking about the mindset, because truly all of these goals that you have, they are so possible. Anything you put your mind to, you can do, but it all comes down to that belief in yourself. So I want to talk to you guys about how to develop unshakable belief. So I'd also love to see in the chat, let me know, like scale of 1 to 10, what do you feel like your confidence or belief level is in yourself in this moment? 8, 10, fuck yeah. Yes, Leanna says 10. You guys, 10. Hell yeah. Okay. So maybe not everyone is 10, and that is okay. And the thing is, to get to 10, you guys, it does take consistently showing up, consistently pouring into yourself, seeking out personal development and growth as if it's your full-time job. And I think so much of my success comes down to the fact that I truly, you guys, like I view myself as like a personal development guru. Like I am seeking out PD in all aspects all the time. Like actually, this is kind of a funny example. Hold on. This is a really great, what's it called? It's like a Netflix special. Who's heard of Brene Brown? Write this down. Brene Brown, Call to Courage on Netflix. go watch it tonight. It's seriously so good. So this is funny, but on Saturday night, my boyfriend was like back at home with his parents and his dog. Because they found out some sad news this past week. But anyways, I was at home by myself on a Saturday night, and like normally I'd like watch a movie, or like normally I would just work all night because I love what I do. But I decided to put my phone down to relax, and the thing that I chose to watch was Call to Courage with Brene Brown. And it was so impactful. But what I'm getting at is that instead of watching, which sometimes it's good to like, you know, de-stress, watch something that's like more numbing, which I do that like 3 or 4 days a week with my man in the evenings. But this night I chose to watch this Brene Brown special, and it was seriously a game changer. And it just goes to show the like simple daily discipline of like seeking out that personal development in all aspects, like whenever you can. And like there's just so much value to listening to like a Netflix special or a TED Talk or something that's going to motivate and inspire you, instead of watching something that's like numbing or whatever. So I'm not saying you should always do that, but just making that choice occasionally. So like for me, that looks like, you know, for 2 or 3 hours of my workday, I listen to like a personal development podcast instead of listening to music all day. So like when I'm out on my walks, or sometimes if I'm out on my walk, like creating content, which is often when I create content, or if I'm sitting just working away, I'll listen to personal development podcasts. So always having that like going through my mind. I kind of lost where I was going with that initially, but the unshakable belief. So I understand that like some of you guys said 10, which is fucking amazing, but I bet to get to 10, it took you a long time and a lot of hard work and consistency of, like I said, showing up and filling up your cup and creating the mindset and the habits and like the behaviors and the thoughts, all the things that serve you. So I think what I find so often is that like my coaches or other coaches that follow me and that I've connected with, so often the problem is not like their work ethic or their Instagram or like the amount of knowledge they have or the goals they have or the upline they have. That's so often an excuse I hear. I wish I had an upline like you. And it's like, girl, it has nothing to do with your upline. It all has to do with you, with your mindset and your attitude and your behavior, all of those things. That literally all comes back to you. Those are things you are in control of. Nobody can change that. So I would also love to know, drop in the box, what are your guys' Enneagrams, if you know your Enneagram number? I feel like so often coaches end up being a 3 or a 2 or a 7, tend to be really common. I love it. Okay, very cool. So we've got some 3s in here, which I'm also a 3, and the 3s come very natural to this motivated, self-disciplined, super energetic, because we're the achievers, right? So setting super big goals, not giving a fuck what anybody thinks, that's totally me. That's like literally my whole message. And I'm also an Aries, so they like are fire together. But not everyone has that. So you really have to come up with daily disciplines to help you implement the ways to build that mindset. And you have to know, like, it takes time. It does not just happen overnight. And my boyfriend actually just like said this to me. He was like, you have to remember like who you were before coaching, because like, babe, I know that you're like this person now, but you are not that person before. Like coaching brought out all of the best qualities that you had and really shined a light on them and helped you grow and become stronger and like mentally so much better. But like you weren't that person. Like you have changed so much. So you have to remember that and share that with people, because even though it seems like it's so natural for you now, it took a lot of time for you to get to this place. So I love this quote, and I don't know exactly how it goes or who says it, but your level of success seldom exceeds your level of personal development. And that is so true, you guys. And that is exactly what I see time and time again with other coaches that I'm connected with, or that are struggling in this business, asking me for advice. And it's like, how much time are you spending like on your own mindset, on working through those like limiting beliefs, those negative thoughts, all of those things, because that is truly what it all comes down to. So here are some things that have really made a huge game changer for me in my coaching business and just in my life in general. So I literally read every single day, no matter what, minimum of 10 pages of a great book, a book that is personal development, that will take you further, that will force you to grow. And depending on the season of my business, totally depends on what books I'm seeking out, you guys. I am about to finish tomorrow, The Slight Edge. This is like my favorite book ever. So please write this down, order this on Amazon like right now. The Slight Edge, this book is literally everything I'm talking about right now. It's all about creating those simple daily disciplines. And it talks about this like success curve or the failure curve and how you're like, there's no in between. You either are like moving up or you are moving down. And it's the difference of the simple daily disciplines, like showing up every fucking day, even when you don't feel like it, or the simple errors in judgment, which is like the errors in judgment would be like hitting snooze every morning. The error in judgment would be skipping your workout. The error in judgment would be choosing pizza over, something healthier. So not saying you can't have pizza, because you can have pizza, but just not every day, like some people do. So Slight Edge is one of my favorite books. I also want to recommend to you, what is it? I was like reading a different title. Built to Last by Keith Callahan. That book was such a monumental change in my business, because I was really starting to shift, which I feel like a lot of you guys, I don't know what your ranks are, what your teams look like, but I was in a place where I was diamond, but I had only hit diamond with diamond is an amazing goal, but diamond is just the beginning, you guys. Diamond most likely means you don't have a team, you're not really a leader yet, you're just figuring it out. And so I, as a diamond coach, I had like 3 or 4 coaches who were under me that like I knew had the potential to grow and build, and Build to Last really helped me shift that mentality into a leader, into a leadership mindset, instead of like this is my business kind of thing, because that is a huge shift that many of you are going to go through if you do have the plans of building this long term. And I mean, you guys, the residual income is in building a team and getting beyond 2 stars. So that should be like your right now goal. So the 10 pages a day. So, and I think in the beginning of your day, that's literally how you should start your day. Feet hit the floor. You list like multiple things that you're grateful for. Wash my face with cold water, brush my teeth, mix my Miracle Morning juice, put on my Miracle Morning Zoom. I write down, like, I do my gratitude list. I do a little journaling prompt, and then I create my brain dump, and then I read for like 30+ minutes every single day, and then I work out. So I think there's so much power in a morning routine, which I'm sure all of you guys have a morning routine that's working for you. But if you don't, you definitely need to implement one, and make sure that you are reading every morning. So, and I mentioned this earlier, but listening to personal development podcasts, at least one a day. And I'd love to give you guys some of my favorite ones as well. So one of my favorites is, and I'm hoping you guys have heard of this, so like give me a little shake if you have, Empower Her Podcast by Keisha Fitzgerald. Yes, okay. I'm just like making sure, because that's like literally one of the best ones ever. I love Keisha. And she actually agreed to do a diamond panel like call for the girls that are in my diamond push group, which is really exciting because she's like one of my favorite people ever. I really admire her. Okay, so Keisha Fitzgerald is a really good one. Actually, I just discovered this one. It's called Your Push Coach. And I love that. He actually interviews a lot of Beachbody coaches. Let's see. I'm trying to like pull them up because my brain's not working really fast. The Angie Lee show. So fucking good. All like Instagram marketing focused. I love her energy. And occasionally I like to listen to the Mindset Mentor. He's a little dry for me, but it's a good one. One of them that I loved and like was obsessed with when I first started my coaching journey, and it really did help me kind of develop the business mindset that I needed, is Scaling Up with Elizabeth Hartkey. So those are just some of like the top ones that I seek out that have really made a difference in my life. And if you're someone who's like into energies and like more so like the intellectual emotional connection, which is something that I'm really passionate about, an excellent example of human. Hold on, what the hell is it called? I don't know why I can't think of it. Excellent example human something. I don't know, something, excellent example. Oh, an excellent example of being human. Okay. Anyways, that's a really good one, and I really connect with that. It's still a really great like personal development, but it's more so on like the ego and things that, you know, don't seem as relevant, but actually are incredibly relevant. So I really enjoy that and always learn a lot when I listen to it. Okay, so those are some of my favorite pods. And then I gave you a couple book suggestions. You Are a Badass is one of my other favorite books. Fear is My Homeboy. Everything is Figure Outable. And Slight Edge is for sure my favorite. Okay, and I've seen this recommended a million times, is Think and Grow Rich, and that's going to be my next book on my list. So just want to suggest that to you guys too. Okay, so a couple of things when it comes to mindset that have really helped me. Affirmations, you guys, is so huge. Like, I, in the beginning of my coaching journey, would write my affirmations all the time, every single morning. And I told you guys I was like a super big dreamer, had big goals, but I was just a baby emerald coach. And I knew it was possible, but it seemed so far away. And even still, I'm like, tomorrow we're going into 3-star quals, which is really exciting. And probably next week we'll go into 4-star quals. But even still, I'm like, I have to do those affirmations. So for me, like, big dreams and goals, my affirmations include things about rank, it includes things about income, it includes things about like who I am as a leader, how I show up and lead my team, the type of person that I am and add value to, the type of partner that I am. So I write affirmations as if they were already true. And I think there's so much research and science behind it, but it has such a powerful effect on your mindset and how you feel about yourself when it comes to your confidence and your ability to achieve something. So always writing those affirmations and having them close by. And like Brandon just asked me, he asked me to like make a wish on a little dandelion thing. And I like literally just like, my brain just so quickly went to my list of affirmations that I wrote down this week. And it's like, he's like, what did you wish for? And I was like, well, like the 7 things that I have written on my affirmations that are my goals for this year. And he's like, you can only wish for 1. But you get what I'm saying. Always have those like in your mind. Be so strongly, deeply rooted in the why and like who you want to be and who you are becoming, and then you will become that person. And then I love visualization. This is also goes along with like affirmations, but it's so powerful for me. And show of hands, who's been to Summit? I know she said there's a couple new coaches on here, but have any of you guys been to Summit? Okay, Leanna, Kelsey. Nobody else. Oh my God. Okay. So sad that Summit is canceled this year because I'm so sorry. Jillian's laughing at me. It sucks. It's so sad. But you guys, you have to be at Summit next year. And here's like the flip side positive perspective on this. I was at Summit as a baby emerald coach who was like, I'm going to build a 6-figure business. And people were like, love your fire, but probably were laughing at me like, okay, whatever you say, right? And here I am like making waves. So and I like so badly, I remember sitting in those seats and my boyfriend came with me. He's super supportive. He is all in on this business with me. It's our goal we will retire him next year, which is super exciting. But we're sitting in the stands and it's like Amy, my coach, is being recognized as a top 10 coach, you guys, like all the feels. So exciting. And we got to meet her, which like fangirling so hard. If you guys like have coaches that you look up to, it's like we're in our own like mini celebrity world, and it's kind of funny because we're all just like real people. But it's so awesome to have that inspiration from people that you look up to and that inspire you. But anyway, she was walking across the stage. We got to see all the ceremonies, the presentations, coaches walking, getting recognized. It was so amazing. And like the whole time I was just like, I can't wait for that to be me. Like literally crying when Amy walked across the stage because like in my heart, I knew that will be me like in a few years. And Brandon, this is something, he's really great at impersonations. I'm not, but this is something really special that he does. And it like keeps us so deeply rooted in like why I work so hard. And he will do this like literally like every other week almost. It's very often that we do this little visualization exercise, but it's so powerful. And so if you've not been to Summit, but basically, is it Michael Neiman? Who is it that does like the loud? Yeah. Okay. So like they introduce as like the coaches walk, and they're like, these are like the top coaches that they do this for, but there'll be like Team Sunshine Daydreamers. And then you walk, that's my team. Walk across the stage, right? And so he'll do that. We'll be like making dinner and he'll like get me all amped up and like pretend like it's happening. And it's just so powerful. It gives me all the feels. And like having something like that you're so strongly connected with, like that vision of like what it will feel like when you reach that goal. So like if your goal is to go full time, like what will that feel like? What will that look like? The freedom that you have, the ability to create your own schedule, the ability to travel anywhere, right? Like all of these things that come with coaching, you have to like get so crystal clear on that vision and what that will feel like, because that is what will keep you going on the hard days. Like literally when I have hard days, that's like when he'll do that. Or like when I'm really excited and I'm hitting big goals, he'll do it too. But it always like brings me back to like why I work so fucking hard in this business and why I don't ever quit. Okay. So visualization, come up with like something so clear of what it'll feel like. Something else that I do is like I envision, so we're going to take a travel year next year when we retire him. And then we plan to like move to Florida, build our dream home, all these things, right? It seems a little far-fetched right now, but it will happen. And so I envision that like dream home of like us with our, you know, new family, and like neither of us having to rush off to a job, and like having this rock solid routine, and like getting to be there for our kids, and like what my morning, I love my morning. And I think about like what my morning will feel like waking up in that dream home that I've worked so hard that we were able to build or buy or whatever, like close to the beach, outside on this beautiful patio. Like it's so, the vision is so close to my heart, and I can literally picture it any minute, and it just brings me to that place. And like that's just another example of like how powerful it is. Okay, last thing I want to talk about when it comes to your mindset, and this kind of goes within it, but goals, you guys. So this is something kind of along with visualization, but creating a vision board. And so I really love to set obviously yearly goals, but I like to think even further beyond that, like 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And then I take those 1 year goals and I backtrack them to quarterly, monthly, weekly. And one suggestion I have for you, if you are looking for a planner, I love, love, love my passion planner. So in this planner, she does like a roadmap, and it's not for coaching, but it really applies well. And it like keeps you on track. So like every month you do like it's like a game changer roadmap. And so you have like one thing that's your game changer. So like for me, it would be like, I want 10 personally sponsored coaches in minimum SC6, or I want to hit 4-star quals this month. So then I create like branches of like, okay, what are the things that must happen for this goal to happen? And so that really helps me kind of stay on track with my goals. I do that monthly, I do that quarterly, I do that yearly. And it really makes a huge difference. And the most important part of it is just that you are reverse engineering. So like when you set a goal, you guys know this, but like you can't set a goal and not like move forward with it. You have to create those small action steps day by day to help you get to that goal. Okay, and when it comes to goals, I think the best advice I could ever give you when it comes to your goals is to talk about them. Like share them out loud with people that you love. Talk about them in your stories. Like be fucking loud about your goals, because you guys, like if you set this like big goal, like, oh, I want to go full time in my business, I want to build a 6-figure coaching business. Like if you set that goal and you never tell anyone about it, do you know the likeliness of you hitting that goal is so slim, because you don't even believe enough in yourself to share it out loud with people, because you're so afraid of what failure, of, you know, looking silly, of not hitting it on time. Like you guys, you are so capable. Whatever goal you have set for yourself, you have got to shout it from the fucking rooftops. Shout it from the rooftops. I seriously started telling on my stories like the week that I became a coach, started talking about how I was going to quit my full-time job and build a 6-figure business. And it's so funny looking back now, because like, who the hell was I to be like thinking that? But who the hell was I not to be thinking that, right? Like that's the mindset you have to have. And I attracted, you guys, my 3 top business builders who are still my top business builders today by talking about those things. Like, not kidding. So that is so powerful to talk about your dreams and goals, because that is how you're going to find your people. That's how you're going to find coaches who want the same things as you, who want to work as hard as you. Like, that's what you want. You don't want to just attract anybody. You want to attract people who work hard, who want the same things that you want. Like, I will not lie to you and say, like, I don't really want coaches that want to walk. I literally don't. And they know that I don't, and they don't join my team. And if they do join my team, they very quickly see that the momentum and the pace of everyone on my team is like next level. And they end up quitting because they are like, I can't keep up with this. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's just who I want to attract and who I want to work with. I want to work with people who are going to hit SC6 as a non-negotiable every month. I want to work with people who are going to set a diamond goal date and they're going to hit their goal date and they're going to work hard and they're going to show up every single day. That's who I want because that's who I am. So you have to attract the people and talk about the things that you do every single day in your business to bring those same people who want to do those things with you. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about creating habits that serve you. And truly, you guys, like, yes, the habits are super important, but also the consistency is just as important. And I know that you know this, but you have to be consistent. And it truly comes down to consistency over intensity. I so often see with coaches or with clients, like some people, actually, this was in my slide edge book today. It was hilarious. It's an example of someone who works out and they were like, all right, I'm gonna go, like, it was teasing, but it's like, I'm gonna work out for 7 hours today. And then that way I don't have to work out any day at all for the rest of the week. Has anyone ever felt like that? Like, I'm just gonna do like a bunch of work today and then I can take multiple days off. That's just not how it works, you guys. You have to do the small things every single day consistently over time, and that's what leads you to success. So like, no one's gonna get fit, like, results if you like just work out one day all day long and then don't do anything else the other days. Same when it comes to your business. Now, I think my secret is that I can be consistent and intense equally, and that's what really, really will push your business forward. So consistency over intensity, but if you can do them both, run with that. Okay. I talked about this too, but mastering your morning routine, that truly has been the game changer in my business. Before I became a coach, you guys, all right, who else liked to sleep in before coaching, or still likes to sleep in and struggles with like early mornings with alarms, not hitting snooze? Okay. Yeah. I think most people struggle with that, right? So before coaching, you guys, I was not a morning person. I would sleep in until like 7:30 and I had to be at my job at 8 o'clock. I am not kidding. I'm like super low maintenance. I don't really do a lot. My hair is naturally wavy. I don't wear makeup. Super simple. But like, it is so funny to see because when I became a coach, other book, Miracle Morning. If you haven't read Miracle Morning, that actually is like the top recommendation for you. So I started reading Miracle Morning and then I started waking up earlier. It was like literally the week I became a coach. I was like, all right, I'm coach, new me, like new me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change my habits. I'm going to change my behaviors. I have got to do something different if I want to change my life. Like if I really want to make a change, if I really want to be successful in this, I'm going to have to show up differently than I've been showing up before. So I now wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, like no question. And my tip for you guys, if you do wake up before the sun, which I recommend that everyone wakes up before the sun. I think that's really powerful. The sunrise alarm clock, I got it on Amazon, but basically it starts to get light in my room like 20 minutes before my alarm goes off. So usually my body's like awake at 4:50 and I know my alarm is about to go off because my room gets slightly bright and the light is like kind of like this crystal, like right, the rock lamp, whatever it is, gets brighter in my face. So it naturally wakes your body up so that you're not like, you know, I hate like being loud noise when I'm in the dark and my body's like, what the fuck is happening? So that has really been a game changer for me to not snooze and get up before the sun. So I've talked a lot about the simple daily disciplines. And the thing is, you guys, these are things that are like so easy to do, but also so easy not to do. Like it's so easy not to wake up with your first alarm. It's much easier to just snooze, right? Like it's so easy to skip your workout at the end of a long day because you're tired and you don't feel like it, right? So like these little things, it's also so easy to choose pizza over grilled chicken. Like that is like we all struggle with that, right? But it's the things that are easy to do, easy not to do, that you have to choose the thing that's easier not to do, right? And I mean that, well, I kind of said that backwards, but what I mean is like the thing that's more disciplined, the thing that, you know, your future self will thank you for the goal that you're trying to reach, right? So if you're trying to hit diamond and you've set a goal to send 100 invites a day, which if you're trying to hit diamond, you should set a goal to send 100 invites a day because that's how you hit diamond. If you want to hit it quickly, like you have to make time and you have to do that thing. You can't just make excuses. So it all comes down to just like having a game plan and like staying so strong to your routine and being disciplined in that. Okay. And then with the habits, obviously, show of hands who uses the Success Club tracker? Yeah. Do you guys like religiously? Okay. Love it. I no longer like print it out, but I use like the SC Bat on my phone. If you don't know about that app, if you have an iPhone, you can download that. But that is such an important like daily vital. You have to do that every single day if you want to move your business forward. Again, the consistency over the intensity. So like, it takes like maybe 2 hours to fill out the tracker, which that's a reasonable amount of time I think that you can put in your business, because you can break that up into small pockets. You can do 30 minutes in the morning, you can do 30 minutes mid-morning or over your lunch break, and then maybe an hour in the evening, whatever your schedule is. The coolest thing about coaching is you get to work it around what works for you. And my favorite tip, and this is something that I had kind of got lost in for a little while, especially as my team was starting to grow, and I was like, shit, I got 10 girls that I'm trying to mentor, and like we're trying to hit big goals and they're pushing for diamond. I lost track of doing my daily vitals in the income producing activities. So like, while it's so important to mentor your team and to love on them, you really have to create like duplicatable processes, so that you're not like sharing the same information 100 different times in messages and in one-on-one calls. Because now when I have one-on-one calls, it's like, if they ask me about something, it's like, oh, I have a training for that. I'll send you the link to that training. Let's talk about something else. Because I've already created all of the things that give them the resources to be successful. And I let them seek that out and learn for themselves, because I've already created it. So, and I was kind of talking about income producing. So like, yes, mentoring people is so important, but like, there's a really cool graphic that shows like what percentage of your time you should spend mentoring. And like, when you're a diamond coach or like a 1-star, it's like 10% of your time should be on your team, 90% on you. And as you grow, like 2-star, it should be 20% of your time, 3-star. I think that's how it works. Is that right, Leanna? Something like that. But that was really like an eye-opener for me. And I don't know where you guys are at in your business, but you'll get to this place, and it's so important that you always remember to put your business first, that you don't forget about inviting, that you don't forget about connecting with new people, that you don't forget about like creating and adding value on your social media. Like, those things are so, so important. And they are truly really like, yes, if your team is growing, that's going to move your business forward, but you have to every single month be bringing on new people, because like, people are going to fall off. You're going to have VIP members go inactive. You're going to have, you know, coaches quit on you. Like, it just happens. That's what this business is. And Jamie Innes said something really amazing, and it stuck with me. She says, the people that get you to 1-star are not who get you to 2-star. The people who get you to 2-star are not who get you to 3-star. And this season, just like that, like ebb and flow just continues. Like, Leanna probably can testify to that, because like last year her team hit elite. Are the same people going to get her team to elite this year? Probably not, right? Maybe 1 or 2 of the same rock stars, but you just never know. So you have to always be recruiting and bringing new people on. And honestly, you guys, it keeps your business so fresh and so fun when you have new coaches coming on who are like killing it, who have this fire in their belly, who are new and excited. Like, I have a new coach, you guys, who signed up last week and is at SC10, and she's already got 5 PS coaches under her. Like, what the hell, right? So like, that motivates me so much to have other new coaches who like are super motivated to crush it. And that also then motivates all the rest of the team to be like, okay, I've been coaching for 6 months and I'm at SC4. What the fuck is going on? This brand new coach just hit SC10. Like, why am I not at SC10? Okay. So always focus on income producing. Yes, it's so important to mentor, but don't forget about your business in those daily vitals. All right, let's shift and talk a little bit about action. And I love to call it messy action, because I, before coaching, was like so type A, had to have a plan all the time, not at all go with the flow, like very serious, did not like to have fun. It's so crazy, because like, when I stepped into coaching, I literally stepped into my purpose, and it's like I broke out of a shell. Like, I truly like was reborn. It's so weird. And it literally like brings me to tears and kind of makes me shake, because it's like so amazing that like I now am like the best, most full, vibrant version of myself, because I found the thing that I was like meant to do. So we're going to talk about action, and we're going to talk about comfort zones and plan Bs, because I think what holds a lot of people back is that they're like kind of on this fence of like, I know I'm made for more. I know if I put all of my energy into this, I really could be super successful. I'm not really happy in like where I'm at right now in my career. obviously things are a little different with COVID or whatever's going on, but like, I think a lot of people just hold on to that safety net. And I know, again, that like, you guys all look pretty young. I don't know if is anyone a mom on here? It makes a little bit of a difference when you're a mom. So, okay, Jillian and Ashley and Kelsey are moms. I can't see everyone on the screen, but I see you three. So I feel super grateful that I found coaching, yes, before I became a mom. And I think it's a different story when you're a mom or when you have a family, because you can't just like quit your job, right? And like figure it out. Like you have a family to support and you have way more responsibility. And I feel so grateful that it's like, it's just me and Brandon right now. And I had the ability to do that. And I know not everyone does have the ability to do that, but there's still like mindset tweaks that you can do to help you kind of stop like holding on to the things that feel safe and comfortable, because safe and comfortable means that you never grow and you never change and you never really achieve the things that like bring you the most joy. Like I truly feel like I was not living before I found coaching, and like I now allow myself to experience joy and like happiness and like be able to positively influence and impact other people, like only because I stepped out of my comfort zone and I stopped giving a fuck about what other people thought about me. So you have to just like let go of the comfort zones, and you have to be, like I've talked about, so confident in yourself and just develop that unshakable belief. Fuel your brain and your energy and your atmosphere with things that serve you and that lift you up and that make you feel like you're a badass motherfucker, right? Like that's what you need to be doing every single day. Like no doubt in my mind, like fill your circle with people who lift you up, who cheer you on, who make you feel bigger than you are, and you will be successful, and you will finally, like, you will get the courage to leave those comfort zones and to leave places that maybe you've outgrown or that make you feel small, because you should never be somewhere that makes you feel small. Okay, so so the whole thing with like quitting my job, I feel like people hear me say that and like really look up to it, because I looked up to coaches who said that they did that. And I was like, oh my God, like, I just can't wait to do that. And I thought that was the end all be all, you guys. It wasn't. Let me just tell you that. I mean, there's always going to be seasons in this business. And like, when you make that decision and you go full time in this business, it's a total next level responsibility. And like, to have that is so heavy. So I know some people like, working an 8 to 5 is comfortable. And a lot of people won't ever leave that, because like, there's no way that they could allow themselves to be in that place of discomfort. But doing something scared and when you're not ready, I think is like the secret to life, right? Like the best things you ever have done, you guys, I can guarantee you were scared and you didn't feel ready in the moment. Literally the best things you'll ever do in your life, you will feel that way. And I think that's so powerful, is to just get more comfortable with doing things scared and not feeling ready, because your comfort zone starts to expand. And that is like pure gold, right? Because my comfort zone used to be like this little bitty hole, and now it's like so big, like nothing really scares me. And I mean, it does, there are things, but like, you have to get to that place of like just continuing to push the limits, to challenge yourself mentally and physically, which is so cool, because there's so many ways that we do that. But through these workout programs, you guys, like, you are showing up and like improving your health and fitness, but you are also strengthening your mindset, which is so powerful. So continue to do those things. Let's see. I was going to say something else about action, but I kind of lost it, so that's okay. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk a little bit about, will you guys drop in the chat what your rank is right now, and if you have any active coaches under you, just so I can kind of like tweak my message to like where you guys are in your business. I just want to talk a little bit about the shift, and I want to talk about the shift from the me to we, because I think this has been a really like monumental part in my business of when I did quit my full-time job, and then I started to shift into becoming a leader and really leading from the front for my team. Okay, just hit Emerald. Yay, Rachel, that's amazing. Jillian is 1 star. Yay, 1 star, 5 working coaches, Emerald, 5 active coaches, Diamond, 4 active. Okay, awesome. Okay, so you guys have a little bit of variety. This is similar to like where my team is, which I love, for business builders. Yes, There's a difference between active coaches and business builders. We all know that. Okay, so you guys are at a place where like you really are going to have to start to make this shift as you are helping your coaches hit diamond. A lot of us hit like diamond or 1-star by building our significant other or our mom or whatever. And that's totally different than when you really have someone who's like, okay, I want to work. How do I do this? Like, how do I show them? Like, how do you duplicate your processes? So when I went full time, like I literally spent the entire first month on just like, how do I duplicate my processes? How do I streamline this? I created tons of trainings. I created a new coach mentorship. Like I did all of these things, a challenge, a new coach guide, a new coach video, like all of these things. So that is really step one, is like streamlining your process and like figuring out how you can onboard your coaches so that they have all of the same resources to be successful from day one. So that's been really important for me to get my things going. And then I talked to you guys a little bit about this, but the way that I was able to get business builders early on in my business, which I think a lot of people go their whole first year and don't necessarily find like business builders, or at least ones that are going to stick with you. But I talked to you about this, sharing your vision. That is so, so important. Talking about your goals and dreams out loud, sharing what you're doing as a coach, what it really takes. Be so real about it. Like I see so many coaches only share about their like accountability groups and their workouts. And it's like, girlfriend, like you have a business opportunity. You are running a business. Why are you not talking about your business? Right? So talk about those things. Have sneak peeks every single month, every single one. From month one, I was hosting coaching sneak peeks. I was doing them with other coaches who I had connected with. I started to do them with my new coaches. That was so, so powerful in helping me get in this business mindset and develop and grow leaders on my team. And I talked about this too, but showing up as if I had already achieved those things. So like, even though I was an Emerald coach and like, it seemed so far off that I would build a 6-figure business or quit my full-time job, even though I did it in 6 months, which is amazing, but it seemed so far off. I still was like in my stories talking about that. And some people probably thought I was conceited. Some people probably thought I was nuts, and that's totally fine. But guess what? Those people are still watching me today, 15 months later, and are like, damn, that girl was not kidding, right? And so you show them, prove them wrong. Like put your goals and dreams out there and then do the work, and then let them watch you, because then those people are going to join you because you've now shown to them like what you've built, and they've been along on that journey the whole time with you. And that is so cool. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm just like kind of reading through my notes. Okay, another thing is when you make the shift from like, this is my business, to like, okay, I'm helping other people build a business. This is not a me thing. This is a we thing. Because like, you guys, you cannot achieve any, like, you can't just keep building diamonds to get you to 5-star or whatever. Like you do have to find leaders that you can count on and lean into and work together and mastermind. Like that is the best part of this business. My team literally are my best friends. Like we work so closely together, and they have changed my life. Like aside from anything else that coaching has given me, the friendships that I have gained from coaching, I would do anything to keep those. And like, I would lose everything else if I had to. Not saying I would want to, but you have to lead from the front, and you really have to pour into your leaders. So I think that comes down to like the personal development of like seeking out, developing yourself as a leader. So like the Build to Last, as I mentioned, I tried to read Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek or whatever. I don't recommend it. I could not even get through it. It was so dry. But always seeking out like ways that you can become a better leader. I think Melanie Mitro's like, her podcast is a good one for leadership, and there's some other ones, but the last thing I'll say is, well, this is 2 things. So I think when it comes down like to at the end of the day, the most important thing in your business and the way that you like show up for your team is to just ask yourself, like, could I have done better? And do I feel proud of how I showed up? Because that was really what helped me kind of get in the mindset of like, I always can be better, but being just like very like honest with myself of like, hey, I just had a one-on-one, or hey, I just had a call, like reviewing that, watching it back. Sometimes I even record my one-on-ones just to like, I don't let them know I'm doing it. I just like do it in my thing, and I go back and just listen to it. Like, how did I talk to them? Did I empower them? Did I make them feel supported? Did I listen? Like we are so used to our communication style that it can be really easy to just like forget about it. And the thing with coaching is, you guys, you're going to work with so many people who are different than you. That's been one of my biggest challenges, is like, I'm so tough love, so honest, like give it to me straight. Not everyone's like that. And so it's been really hard for me to learn how to like tone it down and to just like be supportive and be like empathic and all of these things, right? So at the end of the day, ask yourself, and this comes to leadership, but it also comes to your business, did I show up in a way that makes me proud? And I think that really helps me kind of navigate and lead and understand like what it is that my team needs and what it is that I need to feel good in this business, because you are going to have hard seasons, and it really comes down to your ability to shift and to make changes when you don't feel good about where you're at, or like where you're losing joy or feel burnt out. Like those things are so important. So at the end of the day, you really need to be reflecting and just think about, like, I love to do like journaling prompts. So like in the morning, I'll do a journal prompt, and it'll just be, I'll think of something that's happened in the past 24 hours. Oftentimes it's business related, because that's like my life and passion. But I just think back to something, and sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's not, but it's just me being honest and like reflecting back on like something good that happened, maybe something that I didn't handle well. And it's just reflecting on how could I have handled that better. And I'm so honest with my team. Like there have been multiple calls where I felt like I did not show up and serve them in the way that I knew that I could, because of like anxiety or personal factors, things going on in my personal life, like whatever. And I reach out to them and I apologize like right away. As soon as I come to that realization of like, hey, I didn't show up in a way that made me feel good. And I want you to know that like, I am super proud of you and I love you and like, I'm human. So like, thank you for being on this journey with me and for giving me grace and for like still for doing this. Right. So always listen to what your people need and be honest with yourself about what you need and how you are showing up. So that's it. I think that's it. I didn't have like any special closing, but if you guys have any questions, I would love to answer any questions that you have.
So many takeaways. I have like so many notes written down, and it's so funny too, because so many of the things that you said are like super important highlight moments of my journey too. It's just so true. I feel like everybody who is a coach and like builds this business successfully, like hits those road mark or like landmark moments where they're like, okay, now I have to learn about, you know, recreating what I'm doing. Now I have to learn about how to like show up as like, this is a we thing, not just a me thing. Now I have to learn, like, it's so cool. And it goes back to like what you said in the beginning about how like your business will only grow as much as you grow as a person. So like if you ever are like stuck in your business, or your business like doesn't seem like it's growing, it's like, well, then you need to start growing. Like you need to go back to the drawing board and like figure out what you're struggling with. That's why, like, for me, I've always gone back to like every PD book that like I need right here for this season. Like you said, like if I'm ever struggling with something, it's like, okay, how can I like find the PD book that'll help me grow in that area? So good.
I love that. Yeah, it's so true. And like, yeah, once you read like a book, it's important to revisit it, because it's so like you continue to grow and develop, and like you might read it like this year and then go back to that next year. You're going to have so much life and so much experience that like, you're going to read that and it's going to be like a whole new light. Right. So that's so powerful. I love that, Leanna.
Yeah, I'm reading High Performance Habits right now for the second time, and it's by Brene Brown, and it's like total new book because I read it in the beginning of my journey, and now like 3 years down the road, it's like just so different.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I like recommend you guys, if you can, if you ever like have a pen or whatever, if you don't care about marking up your book, I marked up my books like so much as a new coach. And so like, I'll go back and it's super interesting to like see what really like was a light bulb moment for you. Cause now you're just like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Like just isn't the same anymore, and new things strike you in a different way. But I have a question. So what is your like big goal for your team by the end of the year? I know you were already like talking about this with me, but I think it would be inspiring to hear for everybody.
Yeah. So I actually just booked our first retreat, which is really exciting. And it'll be in October, the week of leadership, which I will definitely be at leadership, even though I'm not yet qualified. So that's really exciting. And I've got about 10 girls on my team pushing. So The thing is, something that's really cool as your business starts to grow is like when you think about being like a 10-star diamond, you guys, like all of those diamonds don't have to necessarily be like different coaches. Cause I'm going to hit 10-star with Brandon's account, with my second business center, and probably with his second business center, which actually will probably get us to 15-star because I will probably have like 10 other coaches at diamond this year. So my goal at the end of the year, like non-negotiable, is 10-star. In my first business center, like the one that I'm currently building and going to go into 4-star quals this month. But in general, I want to have 15 diamonds under me by the end of this year. So goal, like big time goal, is to be top 10 probably in 2021. Yeah.
I love that. It's so good.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily want to hold top 10 because like I used to think I did, but now I look and I watch what the top 10 coaches do. And I'm like, I don't really want this to forever consume every single waking moment of my life. And to be a top 10 coach and hold top 10, that is actually what it takes. So I don't want that. I'm happy to be like in the legacy club, top 50, and have like 20, 30 leaders under me who are killing it, elite and beyond. So.
Yeah. And I love that you say that too, because like everybody's goals are so different. And I feel like once you get to 2-star and open up your second CBC, you kind of get a chance to realize like, am I in this for like financial, or am I in this for more of the ranks, or is it a little bit of both? And like, it's totally fine. Like there's no problem with wanting to be in the top 10, and there's no problem with not wanting to be in the top 10, but like just wanting to be able to pay your bills. Like, so that's, I think like that's the beauty of this business, because I was kind of the same. Like for a long time, I was like, I don't know, like I would never want to be in the top 10. And then Carly and I started talking about it, and we were like, oh, that'd be so fun to like do with just like 1 year. Right. But yeah,
just 1 year. I'm like,
good.
I mean, like Jamie is like top 50, but like she might make more money than some of the people in the top 10. Like, you know what I mean? So it really just comes down to your downline and like who your working coaches are and how successful they are. If you have 3 coaches in the top 52, like you're probably doing really good. So yeah.
Yeah. And last year, like I think Jamie was 11, and like a few coaches couldn't go on the elite trip, like the elite 10. So she actually got to go with Sammy and Amy, because Amy was already in the top 10. So
which is amazing.
You never know what'll happen.
Maybe we'll be on the top 10 trip together next year or the next year.
And then all of you guys on this call, right?
Yeah, then the next year. That'd be so cool.
Well, I don't have any more questions. I don't see any in the chat, but thank you so much for your time. This call was like a lot longer than our normal ones, but I totally don't care if they go long, like when we have a guest speaker, because I'm like, I just want all of the information.
Yeah, I have a hard time like condensing. So thank you guys for being patient and hanging out with us.
Okay, guys, we'll post a picture in your stories if you haven't already, and everybody go have a wonderful rest of your night. I'll get the recording up as soon as possible.
Okay, bye.